Breathe Music. How you feeling, man?
What's good with it, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you having me in the studio.
It's good, man. You're always welcome here.
This is Nanny's studio. Your studio. I shouldn't say this studio. It's yours.
Definitely.
All right, man. I love your story. Whenever I talk to you, I get inspired. Let's start at the beginning. So, when did you start making music? That was way before the studio, right?
Yeah, way before. So, get it out there real quick. You know, I am about 37 years old. I've been doing music for a long time. So, I got into music with my uncle. He used to be in a salsa band. So I used to watch him all the time. Like, we were the family, like, you know, 3, 4 in the morning, you know, Mexicans on the street, like playing music loud. That was that house. And I was always there, and I would always be like sitting there watching him. You know what I mean? Like, seeing how people reacted to him. It was more like, wow, like people really just intrigued, like looking at him like, oh, he can do all this. And it was off music. And I knew I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what. And I know at one point he was like, oh, you want to do this? And I was like, all right. So he had me playing drums. So I started with drums. And I still didn't know what it was. It was more like, okay, I love this, but this is not exactly what I wanted. But what it came to was, I was like probably about 14, 15. And I seen a song called Twins by Fat Joe and Big Pun. I was very interested because they were Latin. You know what I mean? And I was like, Latins can rap like that? I was like, you know what I mean? Like growing up into a Latin household, it's like, you know, all I heard was the salsa music, banda, all that stuff. So it was like hearing rap music and seeing that Latins can do that. I was very like, oh shit, I'm on. You know what I mean? So it was like, that's just how I got into music. It was just more like with my uncle, and then seeing that, it's like it transitioned to me to go to hip hop. You know what I mean? I'm a big hip hop fan, like everything.
That makes sense. So when you started on drums, when did you eventually transition to actually putting pen to paper? Like, were you writing or were you freestyling?
I started off freestyling because I was a class clown. I would joke around a lot, and I had an actual friend that was into music, and they would actually do it, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. And they was like, you should try. And I was like, I tried one time, and they were like, oh, you wrote that down? I was like, nah, y'all just told me to try something. So I was like, they were like, bro, you sounded good. I was like, whatever, you know what I mean? I was an active kid, so I was like a lot of fights. I was into a lot of, you know, drove my mom crazy, you know what I mean? So I needed something to like get into. So like I kind of seeing the structure, it was hard to me at first. It was like, I'm weak. Like I'm not that good, because people are like, why are you doing music? You know what I mean? Being Mexican, you know, I look, you know, very light skinned. So they, you know, even get called like, oh, look at the white boy. You know what I mean? Oh, that music's for black people. That's what people would always tell me. And I'm like, I understand the culture, because when you learn the culture and you know where it comes from, that's one thing I tell a lot of people when I work with. You have to understand the culture where it comes from. You're accepted into this. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a big thing. So when I understood that, it was like, okay, this is what I wanted. You know what I mean? So, I mean, with this music, I'll tell you this, like going into it, I was like, you kind of like spaced out once. It's because I get emotional with music. When I talk about music, it's very like,
you love it.
I love it. It's more like I could sit here and talk to you for hours about it.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And from like, when I have to think about things where I came from, it's like, okay, the emotional thing takes over. The pen to the pad thing was more like, I remember losing friends because I would sit on the stairs and they would be like, come on, bro, let's go outside. I'd be like, no, I'm going to try to write. And they'd be like, why you writing for? I'm like, well, I'm trying to do music. Well, you suck anyway.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? It was like, nah, y'all can go. And I remember the days would pass and they would ask me less and less. But I noticed that I was getting better and better. And it's like, you know, I would just build my way to kind of just, I always thought like with my music, it was like, you're all right, you're cool, you're never going to make it though. But then I start seeing the pattern of people leaving, of like, oh, this is music and music. And then one day my mother actually accepted what I did. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just trying to write music. Well, let me hear something. Okay, well, you need to fix this part. And I was like, what? Okay. So I started getting better, and then this really just graduated into music more. And I noticed that I was out of trouble. All the trouble, all the anger, all of that, I would put into that. And I would get excited. And I remember the first time I recorded a song, I was like, hey, I love this shit. And, that was the first time I fell in love when I first recorded something. I think I was like 18 years old.
So when you were 18, you were still living around here, writing music. When did you take that step to try to actually make it into a career?
I tried to make it into a career right away. Because, as anybody that starts music, you're like, I'm going to be a star. Oh, I'm going to make it. That's your intention. You know what I mean? But we don't know the education behind the music business. And that's what I fell trouble into. I fell into trouble where I didn't understand the music industry. So when I did work with people, I loved it. But people would never explain to me information. The royalties, the stuff that come with things. Oh, I did a verse, I should get some shares of this. Oh, I made a beat, I should get some shares of this. No one explained that to me. And me getting into music, I worked with a lot of people. I did a lot of things. I trained myself. I used to work with people that there was no pens and paper allowed in the studio.
Wow. So
it was all mental. That's how I do music. I don't write at all. Everything is all from my mind. It's a quick way of writing, but I remember instantly. So it's like I was trained that way for a long time. It was like we'd be in the studio and they'd be like, all right, bet, who's getting on this song? There's 6 of us, but only 3 of us get on. Okay, so that means the 3 verses that don't make it get cut. And I was really in that cutthroat. Like, that's that real hip hop. Like, oh, yeah, if your shit is whack, it's whack. I came from that generation. Hey, bro, that bar is whack. You gotta get rid of that. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's where I came from. So it's like kind of my story of what I went through is how I kind of transitioned, but kind of my way of when I did my own studio. Because when I did my own studio, I was like, I need to do it my way, but in a sense, a little bit of what I learned to help others because the shit I went through. You know what I mean?
How old were you when you started the studio and you transitioned into that state? And were you in the Bay that whole time? Did you move in and out of the Bay? Like, how did you get to this point?
So at a young age, probably around like 20 something, I moved to about 21 or something. I tried to move to LA
to pursue music.
I did, and I just didn't have nobody, nothing. So I was just like.
So you just went out there on a limb.
And I didn't understand anything. Then I was trying to pay for stuff. I just fell into being a client. And I was like, oh, I'm just, okay, they don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just being a client. So I moved back. And then I was, I ended up having a kid, like around 24. And I was really into music tough then. I was doing shows. I was actually being featured a lot on a lot of stuff, on a lot of various stuff. Because that's basically, back and forth from LA. That's what I try to do. I was like, oh, that's what we have to do. You have to make it to LA. That's everyone's mindset. Oh, we in the Bay. No one messes with anyone in the Bay. Really, we have to go to LA. And it's like I didn't understand that. And so
Do you still feel that way?
No, I don't feel that way at all. I feel now that I have everything that I did, everything that I accomplished now, like even to let other people know, like. I tell people it's not where you're at. It's you. Like, everything is you. I can move to Canada right now and be the next spot. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I 100% do.
And what people don't understand is like, oh, LA, I have to go to LA. LA, City Dreams, that's what we're doing. Do you? You maybe have to go there just to go try to get a job, or get a position. But really, in reality, that's not the place to make. You can make it anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I started the studio, I was working hella jobs. Like, I didn't get the studio until I was like 33.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 4 years ago.
So this is just you. So once you move back, you're still pursuing music, trying to be a father.
Yeah, father. I have 3 children.
Yeah.
I have 3 girls, and my youngest has autism. So it's like going through a lot. So when I had my second kid, I basically had I went and applied for Los Angeles recording school. I got the grant, like the loan, basically. I was all set. My boy was gonna hook me up with internship, but I had another kid on the way. I was like, I can't. leave her. You know what I mean? Like I
Of
have
course.
to, my child. So I gave that up and came here, and I had to figure out a way. I got any job I can. I was grinding. You know what I mean? With the funniest thing of how the studio fell into my lap was this. So I would go to get a haircut, and it's like at VIPs, and I would always ask, "Hey, do you know any places that are for rent?" Well, usually there's places around here, around the building, but they're all vacant right now. I'm like, okay, let me know. For months and months, for almost a year, I kept asking, like, hey, just let me know. Just let me know. And I remember I got a call when I was at work. Hey,
What were you working at this time?
I was working like at this like paint company, like, you know what I mean? And I hated it. I hated it every day.
Hey, no shame, man.
Like,
That's a grind.
It's a grind.
It's a grind, bro.
I understood the basics that to make it, you have to make some type of money. I never tell anybody. And when people go, man, I work here, I don't care if you work at like In-N-Out, McDonald's, you're grinding. Like, you have to get money. You can't let somebody tell you, oh, you weak because you getting money. Like, nah, like you're actually bringing an income in. There's people that barely sell weed and they be like, oh, you work there, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But you ain't finna be making money in a couple weeks because
I've got that.
You know what I mean?
Got that before.
Exactly. But it's like when it came to that was with that, I was working there. I got a call. They tell me, hey, there's an opening. I called, hey, I'm interested in this place. They're like, okay, I'll come. You come check it out. I got excited. I'm like, how much is it? I didn't know how much it was. I was like, all right, cool. I went here. I checked it out. I loved it. But the dude told me, hey, somebody looked before you. So first come, first serve. And I go, well, I appreciate you if you let me look at it. I shook his hand. I was like, if there's any other openings, just let me know. I'll take it. Anything. And I walked out. Not even like 10 minutes later, he called me back. He's like, I'm going to give it to you.
Wow.
He was like, I was like, what? I was like hella excited. I was like, but I had an empty room. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, all right, I'm going to grind. I'm like thinking I'm cutting everything out. Like, I ain't doing this. I'm going to save up. I'm going to build my studio. Like, but a couple months, not even a month or two later, I stood up for an employee for something that happened. I was terminated. I lost my job right before Christmas. You know what I mean? And it was like I had already $300 to my name, but I had a building that I had to pay for. And I'm sitting here in an empty room, taped off on the floor, like, this is where my booth's going. This is where this is going. I'm like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? I took everything that I had and, you know what I mean, even borrowed some money. And I literally started this thing with a laptop, a TV, built that booth with $300 and an LED lights. And I was like, I'm going to make it work. And I had a microphone already and some headphones. Somebody let me borrow some speakers. I grinded nonstop. Like, hey, I got studio time. Like, you got a studio? When someone heard my sound, though, that was the thing. I always gave a sound out. Even when I was at home grinding, working, I was still mixing records. I was working in and out of studios. I have studio friends that I could thank now. Like, they let me go to their studio and rent it out. You know what I mean? So it was like, that's kind of how I got to this place. It was crazy.
So you have that booth and those LED lights and that speaker. How did you get to the point where you could get enough money to build everything that we're around right now? Like, how are you reaching out to people? Like, I have studio time. Like, how do you start to turn this into a business opposed to just a room?
So I was already known as the person who, in Friends Studios or other studios, hey, just let Breathe mix it. He's the best one. He knows how to do that. So I was already accomplished of like just since being forced into other studios of just learning. You know what I mean? I was forced to like, hey, I need someone to record me. And I'd be like, what? They'd be like, you gotta learn it. So I would just trial and error, right? I got myself good. I came up with a sound. I have a friend in LA, blessed me with a template and was like, here, this is you, but make it your own. So I messed around with sounds and stuff, and I got a sound, and I made a project where people were like, damn, that sounds cool. Who did that? And I'm like, I did everything. So it's like, oh, can you mix this song? So I was mixing everyone's song. So by the time I fell into a studio, I was established of already mixing. So it's like I only hit those people up. But yet again, a lot of people in the industry, not to, oh, so it's for free? Oh, I could go record for free. I was running into those problems. And it was like, not to be an asshole, but it's like, this has rent. This ain't a garage. I gotta pay rent.
You gotta make a living, man. You kids to support.
Got kids and all that. So what happened was I got into what is different that no other studio is doing. So I looked at prices and I said, don't no one give away a free hour. I'm willing to do that. I do it for free anyway. So I said, I charge this amount, right? But I was like, if you buy 4 hours, I'll give you that 4th hour free. So you pay for 3 and I give you that 4th one free. As soon as I put that up, I got hella hits. What? People were hitting me up. I was like, yep, and I'll throw a mix in.
It was just right after that.
It was right after that. I was like, I'll throw a mix in too. So I noticed that's how I caught. It's because in the marketing with me, I was looking at what's the best marketing scheme. Like, what can I get people to right away? They don't even know who I am. Oh, fuck, what? And I knew as soon as I got people to get to me and they heard how they sound with me, it's over. Like, I knew from that because I know what I give and I know a quality of sound that I give. But I just needed to get people to me. So, that's what I did. I just like, oh, and then people just start hitting me. You know what I mean? So that's kind of I got into that.
Was there nobody else giving out the free hour at that point?
No.
Because I know a lot of people do that now.
I know. It's funny because I was the one doing it. And I can really say with confidence, like I was doing it. And I looked at every single studio. And that's what I got from it. I was like, nobody does this at all. I was like, cool. I'm gonna do it. And when I did it in marketing and they seen what I was doing, I seen other studios change.
What was the scariest part about making the jump? Like when you got terminated from your job, it seems like it was your only option. Like it was you make this work or you go find some other job you're gonna hate.
So what ended up happening was funny. So I ended up working here and I was grinding, I was meeting people. You know what I mean? I met my other engineer B. I've offered this position to multiple people. She took it, she ran with it, she was learning off me. Then what's funny is why I say this is because I got so scared when I was doing this, I went and got another job with the competitor that I used to work with because I knew they would hire me. I was like, I need to have some extra money. The clients I was getting like two or three a week, maybe. That's not gonna pay everything, and I got bills at home too. So it's like, so I remember going there and working and cleaning. Right, that was at the other job. I was like, all right, I gotta get to the studio after this. I gotta try to find something. The dude I was working with goes, hey, I need you to clean the bathrooms. I'm like, it's not my job. You know what I mean? And they're already clean. And he's like, hey, look, bro, I know you own this little studio you have, but here, I'm the boss.
That's so disrespectful. Oh, my God.
He goes, you maybe be the boss there, but I'm the boss here. What registered in my head, what he said was, I'm the boss there. So when he said that, I go, fuck you in this job. And I left. I walked right out. That was the longest walk home I ever had. The longest walk I ever had. Like, I literally was calling everyone, fuck, I fucking just quit, fuck that job. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I hung up and I was just like walking. Then I try to walk back. Maybe I should go get it back. Fuck, I'm tripping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's income. You know what I mean? What am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. The longest walk, it was a 20-minute walk. I literally was the longest. By the time I got to my front door, I'm ready to take over the world. Because I said, fuck that. I don't need nobody but me. I got to believe in myself. I had a safety net. That's what that job was. That job was my safety net because I already knew I was going to fail. So I cut my safety net and said, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Like, when people realize this all I got, but this is what you want, right? you kind of get up and go, fuck it, I'm gonna get it. Or you give up on it. And I didn't give up on it. I was like, nah. So when I walked in the house, I looked at my girls, I said, nah, ain't nothing stopping me. I fucking got on the grind. I went to the studio that night. I ended up getting a session like, oh, let's go. And then I worked I'm talking about, it got to a point, like I could literally say that I did 12 to 15 hours straight. Every day for weeks. Because I would be like, no. And then I was taking everything. I was grinding. Then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, we made this week. Maybe we can buy this piece.
Yeah.
But the money I made, I paid my bills. But the extra money was for my studio.
It's right back in your business.
Yeah. Because you have to learn when you run a business, you have to invest into yourself. You know, just like anybody, and I tell anybody that goes through these labels and try to deal with labels, if a label don't see you investing in yourself, why should they give you money? And that's what I try to share with these artists. And then, you know, getting into that is another story. But it's like with the studio, I did grind. We grinded every day. There's only 2 of us 7 days a week. And we're the only studio that work in 2s.
What do you mean by that?
You get 2 of us. You get both of us at the same time.
You get 2 engineers for one session.
Yeah. Because you get 2 sets of ears. You get 2 sets of objects. There's no one ever leaving that board, ever.
Yeah.
There's no breaks. Only if the artist breaks, that's fine, but we're still there. Playing, recording, mixing. Are you guys going to take a smoke break? We're going to mix it a little. Like, there's no stopping. Like, we are consistently robots on this. You know what I mean? It's like, I am, like, registered with music because that's what sets me apart from everybody. I'm the only studio that don't allow smoking here. That's a big risk, too. People don't know that. Like, not allowing smoke in my studio kind of cancels out every goddamn rapper that's out there.
Why is that? Why don't you?
My building doesn't allow it.
Okay.
It's not that I don't allow smokers on. You know, but people don't understand equipment costs money.
Yeah. When
smoke gets into equipment, it can ruin it. My microphone is more important than your smoking. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And how I look at it is this. If smoking is more important than your music, then I don't want to be a part of your music. Yeah,
if your backwood is more important than my microphone, you should get the fuck out.
Basically, and my thing is this, like, I look for people with my clients too. It got to a point I had to work with everybody. I had to. Then I got to a point where it was too much. Then I got to weed out people I wanted to work out with. You know what I'm saying?
So after you quit that job, how long was that struggle period before you got to that point where you were just getting client after client after client? Like, how long did it take to get to that point?
I would say almost a year.
So there was a year where you were still struggling, trying to make it work, like, but then eventually hit that tipping point. Was it sudden or was it very gradual?
It was so what happened was, as soon as I put that out and we were grinding and we did that deal thing, people were coming. But it was when we worked with a certain artist, word of mouth is very important in this industry.
Oh yeah.
We put out a project with an artist that a lot of people know, and was like, "Who did yours?" And they end up mentioning us, so a lot of people tapped in. But I just think there's the work that we did. Like, I was always here, you know what I mean, and I was always like, okay, so how are we gonna do this? What is the next move, right? What can we do? I buy plugins, I buy better mics, I buy, not for me, I think of my client. And I think my clients start seeing that, it start picking up more. But I think a real grind is 6 months, 7 months, and then after that it was like too much for me. It was like, oh, I'm here now. Because they heard me. That was my only thing. My whole life was, I never was heard. You never heard me. You never heard my sound. You never heard the quality I give. And when people start finding out who was doing their shit, that's when it was like, I need to go there. People giving up smoking. Fuck, I just need to get my shit right. I'll fuck smoke. I got a balcony right there. They're like, I got smoke on the balcony. They don't give a fuck because my shit gonna sound right. And that's very important in the industry. I'm one of them, like I said, like with my clients, I'm the get up and go to that booth, open it. You fucked up. You need to do it like this. I remember artists looking at me like, what? I'm like, you messed up. I need you to re-say that bar. If you say it like this, see the cadence of it, you want to say it like this. Artists are respecting me more because they're used to, nothing against
Yes,
engineers. Yes, man, exactly. There are a lot of people like me. I will say that. There are a lot of people, you just have to find them. You know what I mean? And I'm one of those engineers, I'm very personal with my music because your song is my song too. People don't understand that. I'm not going to sit there, press a button, oh, your time's up. Next. That's a job. I don't want a job. I had those. I hated those. I always said when I was younger, I wanted a studio. And when I have a studio, I make my own rules. And when I'm here, I can do whatever I want. If I want to talk to you 10 minutes after your session, I'm going to talk to you 10 minutes after your session. You know what? My next client knows that I'm going to add that extra 10 minutes to their session. My clients all know each other. About 90% of my clients know each other. Because I made it. I wanted to make it comfortable. Because studios sometimes are uncomfortable. Because you have people from this city and this city or that city or from the same city. In multiple sessions, you meet up. They might fight each other. Might shoot each other. We live in a dangerous industry when it's with rappers. You know what I mean? And I make sure all my clients are comfortable. And they know each other. It's like my projects I do. Every bit of one of my projects have my clients on it. Like any point I can go get a big artist. I don't want them. I want to show and showcase this talent that I work with. You know what I mean? That's why it's kind of like a talent scout for me. Like I kind of like who I work with. You know what I mean? I talk too much. I know that. But
it's to me, it seems like your story and just the case study of you. It's like everything in the world wanted you to not do music.
Yeah.
Everything in the world, every force, every person, every industry, they were pushing against you making music into your career. How dead set were you on doing something in this industry with your life?
So that's facts. So when you have everyone and everything and you're like, everything's against you, I had to understand, like, what's my purpose? Like, your purpose is very important in the industry. Like, I understood, like, when I finally understood I was an engineer. See, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Accepting the fact that I was an engineer, because that was my only, like I said, I got a studio and I'm like, I could do it. You know what I mean? I have no schooling in this. I've worked with people in LA and back who asked me what school I go to. I never went to school for this. How do you know this? I'm like, I mean, I just trial and error. And they're like, but how do you know it's supposed to sound like that? You don't know the decibels or, the EQ numbers and all that. I said, no. They go, what do you do then? I said, I close my eyes. What that mean? I listen.
Because you've done it
countless times. But
30
it's like,
hours a day, longer than they have, yeah.
I would literally, like, nonstop. When I had jobs, I had a laptop that had it. I would spend an hour of my time every day practicing how to record. What would make me faster? What would make this sound better? After 9 hours, 10 hour shifts. I have 3 children. That's multiple hours of time too. Special needs kid. That's multiple times too. Everything can't stop me. Because I make it look like, when I look into things, that it's more like, I need this. I need to do it. Because if everything's against me, that means it's like, no. It's forcing me to stop. And I feel like when something's forcing you to stop, it's because you're right there. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean? Like when other forces are trying to get you to stop this, it's because you're that close?
You're that close. Anybody who has ever made it had something right in front of them. It's a test. It tests you. How much shit can you take before you get your reward? You know what I'm saying? And everyone in life is hit with that. Everyone in life is hit with something where it's like, fuck, I can't take this shit no more. Fuck this. Fuck it. Walk off. You know what I mean? That's what life is. It's tests all the time. Mine were constantly no, 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 no. No, again. And it's like, if I would have stopped, I would have never met anyone I met today. All the opportunities that I give to kids. You know what I mean? My thing started when I started the studio. I wanted to give kids what I didn't have. I had to go through it rough. I never got a chance. I never got anything. So when I made my studio, when I seen a talented kid who deserves it, I give them help. You know what I mean? Like, that's my main thing. Every person that walks through my studio talks to me, I'm automatically giving you information. As much as your time here is important, because when you come here, I'm telling you about royalties. I'm telling you about stuff you should do. Hey, you know what? You're featuring your friend on this song. You guys should go 50-50. You know why? Because you both make money off it. And when you put out a song and you got him on it, you guys should do the same thing. That's royalties. They last for, 50 years. If you do it right. And it's like the information that these kids are like, what do you mean? When I look to kids and I tell them about business stuff and they're looking at me like deers in the headlights, that is the problem with industry. The industry doesn't want you to know things. I'm so anti signing a deal because they can't afford me. And it's not to be arrogance of being an asshole. It's basically like all the information that I have, you can't fool me or trick me to signing anything. And what I ask for, I know they're not going to give me. And then that's what the information I try to give to these kids. If you're going to accept a deal, accept it on the terms that you know that is going to make you comfortable. Because at one point you could sign a song over for $10,000 and they're making $3 million off you. And it's a lot of these kids don't know that. They don't know their worth. They think they're worthless. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a worthless kid trying to make it. No, you are worth something and you are going to make it. You just need to get that mindset out of you. You know what I mean? And that's what I do. I do projects here. I open up days sometimes and invite kids here and I produce everything. Or I'm like, hey, let's produce this together. And then when I put out projects, every single one of these kids get percentage. You did a verse, you get this percentage. You did that hi-hat, that kick, that bass, you get percentage. Every one of my projects that are out, if I showed you the percentage split, it'd be between 17 to 18 people. It's because I don't play when it comes to that. Because I think everyone has its worth. You know what I mean? And that's what music, what I try to bring to the table. Something different.
Let me ask you this. Right now you're a studio. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong about this. You manage some artists, right?
Yes.
What do you want to turn Breathe Studios into? Like, do you want it to be nothing more than a studio, or do you want to turn it into something where you are guiding these artists? Maybe you get some more artists under your wing. What is there? Because to me, it senses like you think in the long term. Yeah. Do you have a bigger, longer term goal for what this is?
So, my goal was always to be a label myself and sign artists. So I have a few artists. I've signed B, that's my engineer. She's also a songwriter and a singer. I have Chels, that is a songwriter and a singer. I have Moni Love, that's songwriter, melodic singer, can sing as well. And I have Foreign Rome, the same thing. The kid could write like 3 songs in like an hour and a half. Like full verses, hooks, everything. You know what I mean? Like these kids I took on, and I'm kind of, anything I try on them, I try on me first.
What do you mean?
I am a guinea pig before I do anything for them. I try promotions out. I try things out.
Oh, on your own music.
On my own music. My music, I put out music. I'm going to tell you this. I love music so much and I write music. I do a song probably a day. I have over 500 songs unreleased. But it's just because I love it.
You just love it, yeah.
You know what I mean? I put out music. I have a fan base in like other countries. Like I get played a lot in other countries. Like I get thousands of plays. It's cool for me. But when it comes to people that I take care of and I want to put out and manage and everything, let me release some, or let me try on something that I had. Oh yeah, that does work. Try it on this artist. Boom. Yep. Hella worked. Good. Oh, didn't work there. I'm not gonna try that on my artist. Like, I'm willing to step up and do something on my end before I let it touch them. So it's like, why would I do it to them if I wouldn't do it to myself? You feel what I'm saying? So when it comes to like managing, yes, I would like to be a label. All these kids that I work with, I would love to sign every one of them. Because at the same time, when you sign someone, you're also like
co-signing them.
You're co-signing them in a way. Labels, if they want artists, they will come up to me and basically say, I want your artist. How do I get you out of the way? Take care of my artist. That's how. Because if I'm going to give you up my artist, that's the thing. These artists that are with me are safe because I'm not going to let no shit happen to them. I have a thing in my contracts with these artists that they can walk away at any time. No other label will do that.
Never,
ever.
Never. As somebody who
they own half of they own half of their masters as well.
At the very least.
Yeah.
At the very least, half their masters.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is I talk to a lot of artists, and I know a lot of artists who've got some really bad deals, and artists that have big trajectories that would be in much bigger places right now if they didn't sign such garbage deals.
Exactly.
But
I'm more of a partner.
Yeah. Nobody, because you're right. You saying that somebody can walk away at any point is almost it's
impossible.
It's like you're an anti-label label.
Yeah. But the thing about it is I have so much confidence in what I'm doing.
You know they're gonna stick with you. Yeah.
I have my other artists ask me all the time, put another year on my contract. Because they know how comfortable they are. See, I let my artists do whatever they want. If it's not right and we all come to the conclusion like it maybe not make the cut to drop, I am that person that really will tell you. I'm not going to put out shit. I'm not at all. If it's not finished, it's not going out. If the verse is not complete, I will cut it. My artists that I work with know this. All the artists that I have like 17 to 18 kids that I work with that are not signed. That I do deals with like the 50% would I produce something for them. We have those. You know what I mean? I've been through shit artists that I worked with and shit went wrong, but hey, it's the industry. Shit happens. You know what I mean? But I also have a group that I work with, like of kids that I believe in. That you don't have to ink with me if you don't want to, but we can still work. You know what I'm saying? Because with the industry, I know it sounds if anybody hearing me from like a label or anything, he ain't shit, he ain't this, whatever. Okay, yeah, okay. It's the music for me. It's always gonna be the music. I'm financially good. Like, I'm getting better. We're living good. We're buying stuff constantly for the studio because I love to upgrade for my clients. They have to. My clients gotta have the best. I'm buying this. Oh, what? Boom. That's what I care about. Is the quality of my clients is music and protection because the shit I went through. That's kind of how I run my studio. My studio is more like, fuck, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. I had no one to tell me this. I had no one to let me know this. No one to let me know that I'm this important. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why like with stuff like with Golden Boy. That was a perfect example. The kid came to my studio. He was grinding, working hard. Asking me, hey, I'm trying to learn this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, is it cool if I stay next session and just watch? Well, let me ask my client. Okay, cool. You can sit there and watch. For a year, letting him do that. And just grinding and watching me. The kid knows what I know. You know what I mean? Like, he can engineer his ass off. Don't let him lie to you if he ever asks. Because he could. But I'm saying, like, my team has to be as strong as me or better. I don't want to be the best. You understand? Like, B works with me. I want her better. Gabe is our intern, Golden Boy. I want him to be better. Because when you build something, you don't... If you're not trying to have others around you grow, either on the same side by side or better, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't want to be the best out of my squad. If I'm the best out of my squad, I'm not doing my job. You understand? Like that's why I let these kids learn off me. Learn, like, get it right. Yeah, no, do it like this. Like Golden Boy really grinded that enough that he would wait 6-7 hours in the studio.
Wow.
And then I'd be like, hey bro, I got an hour left. You want to record? and still record and then kill it. That's how we did 808 Rockstars. He waited hours and then we cooked. And we constantly still do that. He's gonna come today and do that. You know what I mean? Like that's why I give him a chance. I co-sign him. You know what I mean? Like, people always ask, why is he not signed? I'm like, he doesn't need to. You know what I mean? Like, he already has me, got his back. You know what I mean? Like, he's a part of me regardless of anything. You feel? Like, anybody that I work with. You know what I mean? To my artists, to the, like, there's a lot of people I can sit here and talk about all day. They know who they are. The world gonna know who they are because I'm gonna make sure. You know what I mean? And it's like, I always feel like it's me against the world when it's against a label. Because I always hear that I have kids come through my studio and tell me about their deals. Like you were saying, they get shit deals. And it's like I have
try to come swoop up your artist real quick for a lot more than you will.
Yeah, and the thing about it is too, what they do offer does seem like a lot that I can offer, right? But in reality, it's wrong because $10,000, $20,000 ain't shit. A lot of these labels are giving 10, 20,000, maybe 30 if you're lucky. Oh, and you sign. Okay, but you still got to pay for studio time.
I was going to say 15 of that goes to studio time.
Yeah. You still got to pay for mixing, mastering. Oh, now you need photos. You need videos. Like, bro, like, you're going to be broke. And especially, you're not going to spend none of that money that you just got. A lot of these artists are not going to spend that money on none of that. Yeah, they're gonna buy either some gold teeth and some chains. They're gonna try to look the part. Gonna buy some like Balenciagas. They're gonna try to look cool. You know what I mean? Whatever's trendy at the time, they try to buy because you have to in the industry fake it till you make it. You have to look the part. So a lot of times these kids don't know how to manage the money they get from the label. Then they're in a hole. I tell you all the time. You want a record deal? Go get a credit card. That's your record deal.
Yeah.
Got to pay it back anyway. And it's going to come with some interest. That's all labels do.
That's a funny way to look at it, yeah.
It's a funny way to look at it. But I tell people, you know what's funny too about labels? They took out development. Development for an artist is very important. You want to develop your artists. You have to make them ready for the industry. Industry they took it out because they want you ready already. They want you already ready with fans, everything right now. That's why these kids are struggling. They're throwing out hundreds of songs because one of them's going to hit. I know, but that's all it does take is one song. But there's no... Someone like Kendrick made it to that position, right? Was blessed. I love Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm very, like, top 5. Cole, Kendrick, Kanye, all that. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. Timbaland was a great producer and Pharrell for me. I fell in love with these guys. This is why I'm like I am. But like a lot of times it's like the development is very important and you don't do that for an artist. That's why a lot of artists go on. They're here now, gone tomorrow. They're not because they get there and they get mentally beat up for a year. Oh yeah, mother. Like basically music for me in that sense is like very important. That's why I have these kids come and develop them. Artists and clients that walk in my booth, nope, do it again. Because none of these studios are telling people to do shit again when they fuck up. Like, fuck that. Have a relationship. That's why a lot of times if you see like Wiz or you see anyone, there's that one person that's always with them that no one knows. It's the engineers.
Yeah.
Because those are people they trust. A lot of these people, there's a lot of me's out there. You just have to find them. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's how I go.
So, at what point do you meet B? How do you guys meet? Is she coming here for sessions or how do you guys meet?
So, I actually was looking for someone to get on a song. And it was funny that I was just looking for people. Like, I was just like, I went through hashtags and then I was like, all right, let me find a singer. You know what I mean? And happened to run across her. And I asked her, I was like, do you sing? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. And then basically just, do you have any music? No. I was like, fuck this. You know what I mean? Ain't got no music, all right. But no, I've done, send me some stuff. If you ever have some stuff in the future, maybe you could work. You know what I mean? She ended up. I was like, I have a song that if you want to get on. She's like, send me the beat. All right, send her the beat. She sends me something back. I was like, oh, that sounds dope. I was like, I'll record. So she ended up coming and recording, and then I actually had friends that were trying to engineer, and they were just playing around. I was just like, hey, I was trying to give it to other people. Like, hey, you want this? You want to work with me? Like, I'm by myself. Like, you know what I mean? And she was like, hey, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I'm just doing the EQs and I'm doing all, you know what I mean? Okay, what does this do? Like, asking hella questions. And I'm like, you want to learn this shit? Like, yeah. All right. So every day for months until, hey, I need you to set up a session. So your first thing is to set up a session. You have to know how to set up a session, and it has to be fast. Boom, hella fast, setting up sessions. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, I need you to run this session. I remember the first time I let her run a session, and somebody was like, she running the board? Because they was like, it's a girl at first, so they're like, oh, yeah. But I can confidently say now, working all these years, like, there's no difference between us now. I can leave that board. You're not going to know. You know what I mean? She could leave the board. You're not going to know. I made it like that so it's like comfortable for people. Because a lot of times you get engineers, and if someone has to switch off or something like that, they're like, where are we at? No, I could easily walk up and go boom, 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 say that to her, and she know where it's at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a grind, you know what I mean? And it's like, so there's positions that get taken because you take them, not because you're giving them. If you're giving someone a position, it's not going to be worked correctly. But if someone wants to take that position and they work hard for it, I mean, shit. Like, that's why I gave that position. Because it was worked for. You know what I mean?
And at that point, the possibilities are endless. They can get infinitely better than somebody who just takes the position and doesn't really want to work at it.
Exactly. Everyone that works with me, I teach them how to record. Everyone that works with me, I teach them how to produce. Everyone that works with me knows everything I know. They have to. We were having problems with videos. We went and bought a camera. All the stuff that they use, now we shoot videos. I take you out the equation easily. Because as I keep going, I start seeing how things are going. With video people, you can send shit out and shit comes back months or 2 months later, and you're like, oh, 2-week turnaround, but you get your shit like 3-4 months. It's like, what? Like, I gave you the money. You know what I mean? So it's like, I took it into my hands and be like, I'm gonna take that out of my equation. See, my biggest thing is taking your budget is important. As an artist, if anyone listens, your budget is important. And it don't matter if your budget is not big. You just have to know what you're spending on. It's like, okay, if my studio and quality is important, I need to make sure I go to a good studio where they take care of me and everything's good. Then I get a video guy. See, with me, I took everything out. My budget owes only promotion. That's it. All my money that I pay for my artists are all promotion. Because we do their videos. We mix, we master, we record, we make beats, we write. There's nothing you can tell me that anything they need. They're perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's why when I say with these labels, it's me, I offer a lot.
And it's genuine.
Yeah. And if I do this because I want to. You know what I mean? Like, people could say I'm crazy all I want. My purpose in life is I am here to inspire. Even if I don't make it like I thought I was going to make it when I was younger, right? Maybe I'm here to inspire the next star. And that is important to me. And knowing your place. My place is very important right now. Being an engineer and having a studio and having these artists and helping develop them and pushing them to be stars, that's my place. I understood that. I still put out music. I love doing music. I do it, whatever. My fans that I have, my group of fans, I love them, still support me. It's fine. I'm not a mega star. That's okay. But I understand my purpose. My purpose is to help these kids not go through the shit that I went through.
Was it hard to accept that?
At first, it was like, damn, like, I'm never going, like, I feel like I'm never going. But then you think about it, like, now, when you start, you're like I said in the beginning, oh, I'm going to be a star. Oh, it's me. It takes a team to make it. And that's what I'm trying to teach. See, I still produce, I still engineer, I still write, I'm a big part of a record. And I had to understand, like, no matter what, I'm still a part of this. This is still me. You feel what I'm saying? So when I thought that way, it was easier. It was like, no matter what, I'm still important. And that's what's kind of like, if there's a plaque on my wall and that says engineered by Breathe, produced by Breathe, I mean, shit, I'm gonna love that shit. You know what I mean? Like, just because I'm not the fucking face. I told this story last night. Like, we did a 14-hour session yesterday, like I was saying. An hour after that, I was talking my ass off because that's what I do. And I was basically telling them, everyone around us needs to understand our place. Not everyone is going to make it here. That's hard to tell people. Not everyone's going to make it, but we will have a position. Because when someone makes it, we need to know we need to stand behind them. We are their team. That means you make it too. But it's like, to accept that, to know that people, like, the mentality of a rapper is very cocky and confident, and you can break a rapper really fast because if they don't make it or things go wrong, they think they're getting too old, or, you know what I mean? Music is timeless, so that means it don't matter what age you are. People get discouraged when kids are 18 and they're like 30 something. And they're like, oh, this kid's 18 and got a deal. Oh, this kid's 17, got a deal. That's because their story's getting told now. Now, if you do it correctly, your story will be told correctly. But if you give up on yourself, you're never going to know. But my thing is, it don't matter your age in this, because everybody has a story to tell. It's just the work you got to put in to get there. No one talks about when fucking 2 Chainz made it. He was 40 something. It doesn't matter. E40 still rapping at 50. Like, but still can hang. You know what I mean? Like, they still put out music. You know what I mean? It's just a mental game we play. Music is a mental thing. A lot of us have anxiety. A lot of us have depression. A lot of us have a lot of problems that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. We are very emotional creatures. That is an artist. We are emotional. That's why you get the records you get from us, because we are fucking emotional. So when someone talks about our music, a lot of us react a certain way. Like, man, fuck you. Don't talk about my shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, because you put your heart into it. You know,
it's a piece of you.
Yeah, it's a piece of you. And sometimes we do get kids that come in here and go, yeah, whatever. I'm just doing it. It's just music. Now that upsets me. I don't work with people like that. Like, if people are like seeing this and be like, oh, that's why he didn't rebook me. Yeah, that's why I didn't rebook you. You gotta love shit. You know what I mean? Like, you interviewing, you have to have a love for it, a passion for it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get up and go do this. I love this shit. You know what I mean? Man, that was good. I just did. It feels good to have that. You know what I mean? That's like anything in life. I tell anybody, like, pick something that you're passionate about and do it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's very important, because it's like people lose interest really fast. And in music, it's a very important thing to know that you can do anything you want. You can release anything you want. You don't have to be a puppet. You know what I mean? Oh, we need another Lil Uzi. No, you don't. Because there's only one. You know what I mean? I explain to every artist that I work with, there's only one you. There's only going to be one you ever in life. But you got to let everyone else know that. You know what I mean? Not releasing music and holding on to shit, I'm going to forget about you. Make your face noticeable. I need to see you. Who are you? Why should I know you? In music, you can tell a story. See, the thing about it, music is created from nothing. If you really think about it, there's nothing there. It's not a physical thing that you can grab. You have to emotionally put it into a mic, right? When you listen to music, you can't grab it. You have to hear it. You feel what I'm saying? And with music, you know, the goosebumps I tell people sometimes you feel, that's when you know it's a good record. You know what I mean? Damn, that was a good ass song. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I'll talk all day, you know.
No, you can keep talking, bro.
Yeah, like.
So, you start engineering when you start this studio. Now, how often are you producing for these artists? Is it more often than not? Is it rare? Or?
Every day.
Every day, okay.
I produce every day. I at least produce 2 beats a day.
So most of your clients, are you providing with beats, or is that just more so the kids that you're working with and your
the kids I work with a lot? I do offer that to my clients. Every bit of client that comes in here, I offer that to them. I will produce something for you, 50-50. We will release it through whatever we need to release, and what comes with it is I mix and master it. That is included with me. If I'm going to produce your record and I'm also your engineer, what comes with it is a mix and master, because at the end I want the last sound. But what's very important to me and always been important to me is how the client feels and how the artist feels. Do you like this? I like it, but do you like it? Because I tell people you're going to release this, and after you release this, that's it. Yeah. There's no going back. That goes with the. It's okay to, you know what, I need to do this part over and make another studio session and fix those parts. Oh, I think it's almost there. I think I need to redo this. Or maybe we should do some drops here. Or maybe we should do, it's okay to take your music and do homework. We call those reference. The first time you come record, I'm like, are you doing a reference track? Oh, a lot of rappers like to finish their shit. They want it done. They want to put it out. Boom, boom, boom. That's cool. But that's why you're not in the position that you think you're going to get. Because a lot of time you're not putting a lot of work into your music. And I don't just say this because I run a business and people record with me. You can go somewhere else and do this. I'm just saying this for information to you. Is this is music, bro. Like, this is forever. When you die, your music's still alive. Now that's important to me. Because I can die whenever, right? But I left a lot of music behind that is in just flowing through the streams and everything, right? That's through any artist that died. Their music's still alive. So that therefore they're still alive. You know what I mean? And I try to make that important to kids. Like, you're leaving something behind, if you think about it or not. Like, that's why I like to work with kids who are hungry. Like, people always ask me, oh, you work with big artists? Oh, you work with so-and-so? You work with so-and-so? I have worked with big artists. I don't like to. Personally, I don't. Because I don't feel that I should be in a room with someone that they're looking at me like I should be happy that they're here. And in reality, you should be happy that I'm working on your shit. Like, not to be a dick or nothing, but like, dude, I'm trying to make a good record with you. And I'm gonna, when you go home and you're gonna go smoke or go be with a bitch, or you're gonna go do your little rapper shit or singer shit, whatever you guys do, I'm gonna be here for 8 hours working on your record. I'm gonna be here not seeing my children doing your record. And that's why I only work a lot of times with people that love this shit, because I want to know it's mean. Them hours that I cancel from my children
mean something.
You know what I mean? And I just want people like, and then the thing about credits and everything, engineers get the short stick a lot. And I think a lot of them need to step up how they work though too. Because there's 2 ways. If you just, I don't get short stick with my credits because I work my ass off and people love it and they love to give me credit. Now, if you feel you're not getting the right credit, now the hierarchies, yeah, okay, cool. I fuck with Kanye, what he did. Engineered, produced by, so that was perfect. That was like, look, hey, I know people think he's crazy and everything, but hey, he at least did something that needed to be shown. Because countless hours people work on shit. We did the Hub. We did an album called The Hub. I brought 17 people in. None of them are mixing these records. Like, me and B are mixing these records. Golden Boy was a part of that too. He mixed a lot of those records. He produced a lot of those records. And I made sure he was credited that shit. Everyone on my shit has to be credited. It's very important with credit with me. Like,
Has to be.
You know what I mean? Like anything in life, you know what I mean? You work your ass off. You're working your ass off doing this right now. You have to be credited for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's more like, I'm thankful for you having me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
Not the reverse. Oh, you should be thankful you had me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's important that people know that. Credited is always, you have to have that shit. Like, people just fall into a mindset like, it's because the industry kind of teaches you to be a certain way. It teaches you to be like negative. It's a negative thing. Oh I'm this, I'm that. What about your team? I always notice the people that are up there who always think their teams, they're always winning every year. Every year. Oh, the producer, engineers, they're always helping, winning every year. People will get arrogant and stuff. No one wants to work with you. That's why I don't work with higher. If like I have nothing against them. If I work with higher artists, I would love to. There's certain artists I would love to work with. But it's like I don't go out my way to get artists here to be like, oh, so and so record at my studio. I don't promote like that. I don't have a sign at all. I don't have ads at all. Word of mouth with me. I'm perfectly fine with that. I want to grind. I think it'd be better for me and feel better for me for artists who had no name and we get a record. Gold record. Platinum record. That feels so good to me. Then getting it with someone that's already on. That's cheating. I'm gonna work with you. You get every time you put shit out, you get that. I want to work with someone who never had anything in life, not even a name, and we all got that together. Like, that's important to me. I'd rather do the long game.
It's communal.
Yeah.
I know there's probably a lot of kids out there that trying to be an artist, something doesn't work out, or something gets in the way. Life gets in the way sometimes. What would you tell people who are at that stage in their life, like you were at one point, but still want to make a career in music?
See, music has more to offer than just being a face. Producing, writing. See, just because you might not make it, or you think you might not make it with your voice, your words might be important to someone else's voice. And that I seen strongly. I remember I wasn't getting numbers. I was like, damn, I'm not getting numbers. I wrote for an artist or two. And then I seen their numbers. I was like, fuck, they're getting fucking 30, 40, 50,000 streams easy. These kids are singing my lyrics and don't even know it's me. But it's like, that's important though. Because you getting credit that you wrote so much shit. Producing, picking up a camera. Like, I tell kids that come in here that have friends and like, well, we're all rapping, but we're trying to figure out what him to do. Hey, bro, do you like film? Like, you know what I mean? Pick up a camera. You can be that part of the team member. Like, music will beat you up so much that you'll want to quit. I wanted to quit 20 times. Like, that's hella times. Like, I probably quit like 20 times in my head, but it's like, it's a mental game. And for kids that feel like they want to give up, rethink it one time. Rethink it. If your progress is better than the last year, and you're progressing, even if it's little by little, but you're getting better and better, that's something you should be doing. Now, if you're not getting better, it's getting worse, or not, you're just not I would tell them maybe leave it alone. Try something else if you love music. Like, you just don't have to be the face. I tell people all the time, like, bro, you can really, if you love music, I found a way. I told myself I can't leave music. What am I gonna do? And I engineered. I'm like, I guess I can engineer. I mean, I know how to do that. I end up getting better. I get better. I'm still getting better. That's what's crazy. Next year, I'm going to be whooping this person's ass. That's how I feel. Like, and the year after that, like that's who my competition is myself. How was I last year? We work on album shit. That album was dope. Now this next one, we gotta whoop that album ass. it has to sound better than this album that we just put out, or we're not progressing. And that's kind of our mindset. I know I'm not the best. I never wanted to be. I just give something. You know what I mean? Like, I know my worth of what I give. And it's like the quality I give. It maybe not be the top notch like industry quality, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna get there. Like where we're going in the pace that we're going, man, sky's the limit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
sky's the limit.
I'm saying, like, we doing this we live in something because it's sacrifice. Everything, what you do, what I do, everything is sacrifice. We have to sacrifice time. Time is very important. Like, no one lives forever. So it's like our time is very valuable. Hence the reason why people pay me for my time. I don't like to be an asshole, but sometimes people who you're gonna have to pay to come get this info, but I will give you the info. Like, let's see how hard you work. You know what I mean? Like, time is everything, and people just take a granted of that. And it's like, I don't want people to like just turn around and be like 40 and be like, damn, I didn't do shit. I do nothing. I have nothing to leave back. I have nothing to give anybody.
That's the fear.
Yeah. My daughter's already making beats at 6, 7 years old.
That's so awesome.
Like, she's already making up her own songs. She sees what I do. Her process, she looks at me and goes, my dad does music, I want to do music. So by the time she's 10, she will know how to run sessions. Because this one, because this is not going to be my only studio. We already have plans of trying to open another one. Like, my daughters are going to be working. This is going to be your job until you find what you want to do. You know what I mean? You'll have somewhere to work.
And that's when you have a legacy that you start passing down.
Exactly.
And I can't wait to see it, man. I'm sure you'll get there. And I love picking your brain. I really do. And this is something we definitely got to do again, man. 100%.
It's all good. I appreciate you having me, man. Just even want to talk to me. I was like, cool. All right. You know what I mean? He wants to have an interview with me. That's cool.
You're inspiring, brother. For real.
Right
And you got a lot to share. And I think your story can give a lot to a lot of people. Give people a lot of value.
I hope so, man.
All right, Bree. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Man.